Happy Easter, Clipper Nation. So, first of all, I got 100 subs, so I just want to deeply appreciate every single one of y'all who tuned in and managed to watch my videos throughout the journey. I deeply appreciate it, but unfortunately, my Clippers got bounced out, and our Clippers got bounced out in the plans. So, like, it's still pretty tough for as being a Clippers fan. I'll try to make some other maybe playoff games if the games I just managed to tune in and watch them. So, but basically in this video, this is kind of like a little off-season plan, like what the Clippers should do and basically what the Clippers should not do. So, this video might be like more on the vague side of the spectrum, like it's just like a brief summary on what the Clippers should do and not do. It's not gonna be like as not really like purely like straightforward or direct because like it's like the off season and anything can happen. But I'm gonna just dig right into it. So basically, first step, what starts is the NBA draft. Now the Clippers, we have a second round pick. So you're gonna be like asking me like, oh, what does this? How is this draft pick gonna help the Clippers? Well, this draft class has a lot of big mans, and the Clippers could they have like a rough struggle with a big man and a power forward. Like our bigs, like they kind of struggle on like rebound and all that, and there's a lot of bigs that could rebound. Or like another thing, our bigs would struggle is like pretty much like with like quickness. They're more on a slower side of the spectrum. Like basically to sum it up, like what type of player the Clippers should target in a draft? Well, basically target a power forward and a big man. Steer clear. Do not take a shooting guard. Do not take a wing. Point guard is kind of tricky. Like yeah, like the Clippers do could definitely use some point guard depth, but I don't want to do too big on. I do not want to take a point guard in this draft because like there are not many good point guards in this draft class, so it'll be like most likely a waste of pick if we do. But also it could like create a bad domino effect, and I would just much rather resign like a solid actual somewhat of a true point guard type thing. So that's that. But anyways, I'm gonna just show you like the mock draft that I use a lot of times. So basically, like the Clippers, we're over here, right? We're 43rd pick, and you see it's projected towards a power forward. Now, I do not know who this guy is, but I just already checked this scouting report and hey, I kind of fell in love with it already. But of course, I do not know too much about him. But essentially, who I really want the Clippers to take, well, me and the homie Clip Ganger don't bang. So be sure to check out his video as well too. Just take Yannick Nzosa, cause Zubac, he's a solid big man, but Nzosa, if we get Nzosa, he is really raw, but he's lightning quick. Like he's like 7 foot, basically. But he could move like a guard. Like if you want like a full-on scouting video of Yannick Nzosa, just please check out Clip Game Don't Bang. I'll try my best to put this link in the description or the comment section. I do not know, but Yannick Nzosa, take this guy, bro, if this guy's available. Now, the only concern is he might declare for the next draft. So, like, Jerry West, have a meeting with him, bro. Just have a meeting with Yannick Nzosa. Because, hey, you want to make sure he comes to the Clippers if he can. But let's just say he declares for the next draft. There's still, like, plenty of pretty good bigs. Like, another big, Travion Williams. He's like a really big, strong big man. He's pretty good at rebounds. He could do like every like minor thing. Like he could, and also he could kind of play make for a big man too. So Travion Williams, he's like a really good, strong, like a bruiser type player. Ishmael Kamagate is also a pretty like nice, good rim protector. And Khalifa Diop is also a pretty good option as well too, because they're all like really quick, good rim protectors, and they're also like really athletic. Unlike our big man Ivica Zubac, unfortunately. No, I'm not trying to throw shade to anybody, but I'm just saying, like if the Clippers want to get their big man, because a lot of people they want to say get Rudy Gobert or or trade for Miles or like basically like a lot of people they be wanting to do too much. Like honestly, bro, just like I'd rather like just mine some gems from the dirt rather than just like like fight for like a piece of dollar essentially. Or another good analogy is like like a lot of people want to fight for like a really big pie, but they're ignoring the crumbs, and the Clippers should not ignore the crumbs because like them crumbs, which is like the NBA draft, could contain a lot of gems. Shout out War Dogs, it's a pretty fire movie. But anyways, so yeah, like first step, what the Clippers can do is get a really good big man from the NBA draft in the second round, because like I said, there's a tremendous of second round of good big men, and you also got Christian Coloco, yeah, another like pretty quick athletic big. So, but yeah, like strictly try to get a big man or a power forward. Like I said, steer clear from a shooting guard. Steer clear from like a wing, unless if other reason wise. And point guard, I personally would kind of want to avoid the point guard too, but I'd rather like more like sign the point guard in the off season, basically, because 2023, like just a year after, there's a lot of great point guards there. But anyways, like if the Clippers want to even take it to another level, which is I'd be really open for the Clippers to do it, is like may trade one of the rotational pieces for like a first rounder. Like one prime example, a lot of people they be wanting to trade Marcus Morris, and I kind of understand in a way. Like I'd be cool if we do trade Marcus Morris. Although I have a lot of soft spots for Marcus Morris because I know he's easy to slander because he's unfortunately like a little bit on the slower side. But like if we do trade Marcus Morris, I'd be like I'd be open to trading for like a first round pick because again, there's some more really good, like better forwards. Like take a big man with our second round pick, like Yannick Nzosa, for example, or Khalifa Diop, or another guy like is who else? Um, my fault. I'm a little bit slow right now. Hold up. Like dang, I cannot find the guy right now. But again, a lot of big mans, bro. A lot of bigs. And they could be pretty good for the Clippers. Like, they really could. And then, but basically, like I said, if they want to take it to another level, they could always trade Marcus Morris to any of the contending teams. They could trade Morris to like the Bucks or the Miami Heat or maybe like a team like the Brooklyn Nets for like their first round pick, and we could also snag like a really good athletic power forward like a guy like EJ Liddell, because EJ Liddell, he'd be honestly be a pretty fun fit for the Clippers as well too. So imagine the Clippers take Nazoza as their big for 2022 NBA draft, or they take EJ, and then with the first round pick, like like let's just say we trade Marcus Morris for the pick, we snag Liddell or Musa Diabate, basically some really good big men that could get some really good rebound and that has more like a versatile defender. Like because like unfortunately our power forward Marcus Morris, like he would have a little bit swing factors on defense. Like he's great on the offense, but like we could use some youth because we already have like a lot of veterans and gotta have some balance basically. Like so yeah, step one is basically like mine the gems from the NBA draft because it's going to be pretty like that. Like there's a lot of power forwards and center that I could see that could become like a game changing thing for the Los Angeles Clippers. So that's step one. Now I'm gonna go like kind of like a step two. So then step two is resign Rocco and also resign Hartenstein. Like Rocco, he already wants to be a Clipper, so that is great. So do whatever it takes to sign Robert Covington. Just don't go. Obviously, don't pay him like maybe like $20 or $30 million a year, but I'm sure I don't think he's asking for that. Like, but yeah, resign Roko for sure, and also resign Isaiah Hartenstein. Like Hartenstein, like I heard some people say, oh, we cannot keep Hartenstein because we don't have cap space, which is it's a little weird because I kind of like looked up our cap space. Like, don't we have like $50 million in cap space? Like, I don't think we have that many like big contract players. So I think it's really possible that we could bring both of them back, but definitely strictly focus on resigning Roko and also resign Hartenstein. So that is essentially step like um, number two after getting filling our needs from the NBA draft. But yeah, like if there's one thing that the Clippers need to do to like fill out their needs, like which is would be a center or a power forward, like they should focus on the NBA draft rather than the trade market because I know, I love this quote a lot, but because everybody's gonna fight for that one piece of pie, but people are just gonna ignore the crumbs. The Clippers, they should live on crumbs. So because them crumbs, they could be gems, while the pie, like it could be good, but it could also be a dud. So yes, like I believe the Clippers should focus on like the next two off seasons, like from this year and next season, is focus on the NBA draft. This season, this draft, we get our really good big men and we get our good power forward if you want to take it on a next level. And then 2023, like that's when we get our premier elite franchise point guard. But I'm not saying don't get a point guard this season. Like definitely like consider signing a point guard because there's also like a decent amount of pretty good point guards that could potentially like fit the Clippers. Now, basically, another step. Now, this is like one of the don't do. So it's gonna be kind of like a like two steps in one slab. Is one of the things. So basically, step three, like I'd be cool with retooling some of the players, but if you want to retool some players and make some upgrade, like one thing you should not want to do is do not, I repeat, do not, do not, do not, do not trade any of these guys in the picture, bro. Especially with Brandon Boston. I think the reason is pretty obvious, bro. Because Brandon Boston is just something else. He shows like insane amount of talent. He has superstar upsides. Do not trade this guy no matter what. Like, I don't even care if it's for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, if it's like Brandon Boston Jr. for Giannis Antetokounmpo, still, still don't answer the phone. Don't pick up the phone. Slam that phone. Slam that phone. Nah. These two boys, like, they stay on the team. You can trade any other players, bro. But like, but do not trade these two. Do not. No. 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 Like, but nah. Don't trade any of these two players. No. But but anyways, so basically, like kind of like a step three is I'd be open to like making some little like retools, like some tweaks and that, but do not do a fully GM, bro. Do not do a fully GM like what the Lakers did. But I mean, obviously, if it's like a great deal, go for it. But like, do not lead GM and trade all the youth for like quote unquote like a third star. Like, please do not do. Please do not fucking trade Brandon Boston Jr. and Jay Scrub for fucking Rudy Gobert or fucking Damian Lillard or fucking Bradley Beal and all that. Nah, I'm not lead GMing the Clippers, bruh. Nah. Me and Clip Ganger don't bang. Strongly agree with this because it's always important to have some nice, good depth. And also, nothing beats being homegrown. So yeah, step number three, like basically, like make some retools, but do not fucking lead GM. Do not fucking lead GM. Especially, do not trade any of these two in the picture, bro. Nah. And basically, step number four, like, like basically now, like try to sign like a pretty solid point guard that could definitely, like, sign a backup point guard, and the point guard I feel like like is a pretty underrated option for the Clippers is Gary Payton, the second from the Golden State Warriors. Like Gary Payton, he's like a high energy point guard who's a great defender that also brings some good playmaking, and he'd be perfect with the Clippers. Like he's not gonna probably ask that much. Like he's a great role player. Like I could see I could see the Clippers like bringing him on like a 2 years, $15 million contract or something like that. He's extremely athletic. Think of Gary Payton the third is I mean junior as like an athletic Patrick Beverly. Like he's really pesky on the defense, but he has the athleticism on his side. So and yeah, he'd be a perfect target in the and in the offseason to get a backup point guard. Other options, if you want to go pretty big, Colin Sexton, which I'd actually be like, I'd be pretty down if we get Colin Sexton in the offseason, like, because he's like a, I believe he's like a kind of like a restricted free agent for the Cavs. So, like, if we could get him free agency, um, I guess, like, why not? Why not? Because Colin Sexton, he averages 20 points per game and gets a lot of assists. Um, like in my opinion on the point guard needs, I mean like the point guard is like I would say like we could definitely use one, but it's not like as desperately needed because remember you also have Jason Preston who is our point guard and brings like really good IQ, and I'm pretty confident if he plays when he plays like on the floor, I believe that he could provide us like some really fun playmaking and also pretty good defense on the other side of the end. Like he could be like a pretty good point guard for the Clippers for a little while. Although ultimately in 2023, we're going to take our ultimate franchise point guard, which is going to be either Scott Clark, Dior Johnson, Jason Gordman, or if we go big, Amen Thompson, baby. But that's just being a little bit unrelated. But yeah, I'd be open to signing like a kind of like a backup point guard, like a role player top point guard, or another point guard that maybe could be solid for the Clippers is Ricky Rubio because he's also a free agency. The only thing that sucks about Ricky Rubio is he's hurt pretty often, but the big plus about Ricky Rubio is he has a lot of IQ. So, and and I believe he dropped like 40 points one time, like just like this season. So, like, hey, I'd be open if Ricky Rubio could become a Clipper. Like, but basically, like yeah, step forward, just like how we could address the point guard position and just sign a point guard. Cause like, anyways, going back to Gary Payton, like Gary Payton, the second, he's kind of like yeah, like I made one comparison, but another interesting comparison is he's kind of like a JaVale McGee of point guards. Now JaVale McGee is a really nice big man. Like he's really athletic, a really good rim protector. He just knows his role. Gary Payton is essentially like that. He plays tremendous defense, like pretty good defense, and then for the offense, like he may not do too much on the offense. Like he doesn't like do your crossover and get the buckets, but he's shown flashes that he could be a pretty solid playmaker, kind of like essentially like a Pat Bev type playmaker, not like a guy who does full court like Doms or does the pocket pass and all that, but and also considering he's also a pretty big point guard, like 6'3", 6'4", so I'd be down to sign him. But yeah, basically, like this is kind of like a brief thing, what the brief steps, what the Clippers should do over the off season. Like, hopefully the Clippers would not do anything stupid, but hopefully the Clippers would do all these, because like I believe we definitely like if they do all these, the Clippers will be perfected for like a really long time, and we will definitely win the chip. So basically, I'm just briefly go over the whole entire summary of what the Clippers should do. So first step is the NBA draft this year. Try do get a center, get a really good big man, and if you want to take another level, you could always trade one of our rotational pieces for like a first round pick, like a late first round pick, or even like a mid first round pick if you're getting a little lucky and draft a power forward like with our first rounder if we decide to trade a rotational piece for our first rounder to get a power forward and get a center with our own second round pick. Preferably get Yannick Nzosa, bro. Get Yannick Nzosa. And then step two, basically resign our boys, resign Roca, resign Hartenstein, resign Batum, and all that. And then step three, like let's just say if they do not choose to go too crazy on the draft, you could also do some little retool and all that. If you do want to do some retooling, if you just want to make some upgrades and all that, really Gucci. But do not trade Brandon Boston Jr. and of course Jay Scrub. But yeah. And then step four, just sign a point guard. Just simply sign a point guard. Like you can sign Gary Payton the second. You can sign like Ricky Rubio, maybe Dennis Schroeder. Um, who else? Who else that is possibly available? Or like if you want to go somehow like really jackpot mode, Colin Sexton. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know where Colin Sexton would love to go. But but yeah, just sign a point guard and all of that. And yeah, that's essentially it of what the Clippers could pretty much do. But now I'm gonna actually add some more information. So yeah, my bad on that. So for Gary Payton, like I think it's pretty realistic that we could definitely get Gary Payton because the thing about it, the Golden State Warriors, they have so many point guards. They got Steph Curry, they got Jordan Poole, they got Damian Lee. They have so much guards. And Gary Payton the second, like he probably would love to have a bigger role and just have a bigger opportunity for him to shine. And I think he'd be a perfect like fit for us. He could get his bag, and he could also still play with a contender. And who knows, he could get his shine. So I'd be down for the Clippers to snag Gary Payton the second. But anyways, happy Easter, Clipper Nation. So just let me know what you think about my thoughts in this video. Like, do you agree or disagree? And be sure to leave a comment below. I'll definitely be checking the comments, and I'll do my best to talk we on the comment section. And as y'all know, happy Easter.